Oops. Hey, welcome to episode 113 of Boulder with Travis Robinson
and Alan Goya. Good morning.
And Dave Anderson.
Good morning, Alan. Good morning,
and our
Travis.
Special guest, Lisa LaPlante from the city of Boulder City. I was going to say Las Vegas. Boulder City. How you doing, Lisa?
I'm doing great. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. Did everybody get a chance to catch the Thunderbirds come through town?
Yeah, we actually. Yeah, well, Lynn and I actually went up to Radar Mountain and looked at the valley, and it was pretty cool because we saw the contrail. Matter of fact, I'll post it on this episode. I can do that now. So, yeah, we saw it. They flew over Boulder City though, because I was looking at the left, and they're flying. When I looked at the left, they were actually flying over the vet home.
Yes, yes. Their initial route was they were only going to go
Alan,
over.
You got it flipped.
They were going to go over Summerlin, and they were going to go over Centennial Hills. They were going over Henderson, and Tammy McKay and I here at City Hall found out, and we made a few phone calls. And goodness gracious, I tell you, Friday morning, what a relief. We found out that they did add Boulder City. They flew over the hospital and the Veterans Center, so it was great that they were able to add us to the route.
It was really cool. Yep, and you heard them, Trav, right?
Oh yeah, I heard them. Yeah, I didn't see him. It was pretty neat though, because everybody just went outside, and it was like a little moment of just a solidarity and peace and remembrance of that vet.
Yeah,
it was pretty.
Well, thanks for our front line. I mean, you're like your dad is front line. He's working at the Veterans Home, and your wife, Dave, is a nurse also. So
Yeah.
Actually, the reason we're doing like this because I'm in a self quarantine mode right now because I may have been exposed to someone. We're not sure yet, but anyway, now here we are. We're all online here and safe, right?
Social distancing.
Yeah. So Lisa, the city is doing a whole bunch. You're at City Hall right now, which is closed to the public, right?
That's right. So when the orders first came out back in March, we decided that we would continue. Obviously, we're all essential workers at City Hall. We're necessary to keep the city running. And so what we did is we did close City Hall to the general public. If somebody has business that they need to attend to here, they can either use the phone, they can email us. If they have paperwork that they need to drop off, we do have somebody that's up front that can take the paperwork and make sure that it gets to the right place. But as a result, obviously, we haven't been able to have any council meetings, committee meetings, workshops. And, it's not a very big chamber. So, there's not enough space to really separate out people. If you've got 20 people in here, obviously the new directive is that you can only have 10. So we were taking looks at ways of making sure that we could protect people. So we haven't had a council meeting in almost a month, but that's about to change.
Wow. Well, thank you for you guys really working hard, but you guys are doing other things with the city, right? I mean, I know that you guys are trying to call, I think it's a kind of an exciting program. You're calling every resident in the city and on a welfare check. Tell us about that
That's
program.
Right. That's going really well. So we had volunteers who wanted to sign up. They felt like they needed to do something to help contribute during these tough times. And so we have this staff of volunteers that calling every resident in Boulder City, and they're saying, we're just calling to check on you. Is there anything you need? And we have a one-page resource guide that we've provided to each of those callers. It includes information like how to get help from emergency aid, how to file for unemployment. It's got information about the Clark County School District lunch program. It's up to 18 items now that we've got that we provide to those callers so that they can make sure that folks are getting information that they may need. These are unprecedented times, and a lot of people, especially if they're older, they're afraid to go out. They're afraid to ask for help. So by making those calls, we're finding out who needs help and what we can do to help them out.
Right. Well, if you don't have a computer and get online, how do you access this thing? How do you get
Well,
information?
if you give us a call, we've got somebody staffed here who can help you with information. We do have a non-emergency number here. It is 702-293 9 9329.
9329.
9329, yeah. So if somebody does have questions and they need some help, they can do that. We also have made sure that our 211 information is up to date. So if you call 211 on your landline, I don't know if it works as well on a cell phone. I think it does, but it just depends on which service you're using. But if you call and you say, I need some help with food resources, I need toilet paper, so whatever your need is,
Right.
they'll make sure that they help you
What was
out.
that
Right.
number again?
Seven, seven
I
oh-
just
Go ahead.
I just put it up on the comments. It's up there.
Yeah. 293
939329.
9329. 293-9329. And it's manned 6 days a week, right? 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. So it's one day of the weekend plus Sunday, and they'll take a message also, I understand, right?
Yes, it will take a message, and if there's no one available to answer, or if we're overwhelmed with calls, somebody will get back with you.
Right.
We are making sure that phone line is being monitored.
Right. So you want to get your friends and your neighbors, especially somebody who might need help. This is the number to call. It's kind of a one-stop shop. And the main thing about the information that the city has given us, it's vetted information. In other words, these are all organizations and they're coordinating the nonprofits in town to help work together as a community. So, these aren't scams or rip-offs. They're giving you the good stuff, right?
And what's been fantastic is that we've built up these relationships with organizations in town over the years. Lend a Hand, Senior Center of Boulder City, Emergency Aid. So we've got these great, outstanding relationships with them. What we ended up doing recently is we started a food drive right here at City Hall. As a matter of fact, we're collecting items today from 10 a.m. until noon, and Wednesdays 10 a.m. until noon, right here in City Hall parking lot. And those items are going directly to our nonprofits. We've reached out to them and said, we have supplies, do you need anything? And so Thursday, actually, Senior Center of Boulder City sent over Victoria Mason and Lacey Scarpa, and then over at Emergency Aid, Tom Tyler came in. They picked up a bunch of needed items, non-perishables. We're looking for unopened items. You can't bring in a half-eaten box of cereal. We want to make sure that we're getting the right stuff out there to folks.
Right.
So, but it's been amazing. We've had people who've gone and they've picked up cases of food, cases of green beans or cereals or oatmeal, and they've been bringing them to City Hall and delivering them to us, and then we're able to in turn give them to the nonprofits to make sure they're going to people in need.
Well, that's amazing. I mean, and thank
Awesome.
you.
Very, very cool.
Yeah, thank you to all the nonprofits and the city workers who are, on the front line and really kind of doing the sacrificing for all of us who are hiding in our houses here. But,
And I gotta give a real shout out to our police department and our firefighters. Those guys are still, they're the first ones who are arriving on scenes when people are calling with health issues. And so they are really, our frontline response here in the city. So if you happen to see a firefighter or a police officer today, be sure to say thank you and give them some appreciation for all the hard work that they're doing.
right. I mean, that's one of the things. I mean, one of the things that I've been doing is I've been calling all my friends that live alone. And because this virus can affect, the way people think, and they may not even think that they're sick, and I'll be better. Like the first guy that died in Clark County actually fell into a coma. He had a life alert and everything, and he just was kind of delusional and just didn't think he needed help. So, call your friends. They seem to be fine now. And then it's not somebody else that, a quick call to say hello, how are you doing? And I had experience with our first responders who came and helped my friend out. That's why I'm in isolation right now, is because, but he was a veteran that needed help. So, go out and call your friends out there and see if they need any help. So, Lisa, tell us a little bit more about this city council meeting. So, how does the public participate in this current this tomorrow night's city council meeting, right?
Yeah, so it'll be our first city council meeting ever like this. Basically, what we're going to do is I'm going to kind of walk you around the room here. So this is usually the table where the city staff sits. And actually, one of our council members will be seated here. And then we have the dais where the mayor and two other council members will sit. We'll make sure that we separate them 6 feet apart. So mayor will be front and center. And then Mayor Pro Tem and one of the council members will be seated up here at the dais so that they are far enough apart that we're maintaining that social distance again. One more council member will be at the staff table that is usually where the appointed sit, so your city manager, clerk, and your city attorney. When the meeting begins, our fabulous Holly Webb will be live streaming it from way in the back here. So she'll be in her news center back here where she'll be live streaming it on our website, www.bcnv.org.
Holly's now mission control, isn't she? She's kind of cool.
She is.
Yeah,
She's got
look
it
at
all here. So
Good.
she'll be running that. And then what we'll do is there will be a couple of staff members in here, but we have to maintain social distancing. What we'll do is we'll come in. For example, I have a presentation to give, so I'll come here to the podium. I'll give my presentation, and then I have to leave because we have to keep that room. We have to keep the room under 10 people. So, we've got the 5 council members. The city manager will probably be in the room. Our city clerk may be in the room at times, but she will mostly be in her office. City attorney will probably be in his office. And then the entire staff will be in their offices during the meeting rather than being in the council chambers, which is really different for us because usually, we're sitting, I don't know if you've ever seen, I usually sit in the back of the room with Holly to make sure that PowerPoint presentations are getting loaded and helping her out. But obviously I need to be 6 feet away from her, and that area is only about 5-6 feet wide anyway. So,
well, those guys in their offices is really cool because now you can't see their faces. They can do anything.
right.
They can make, yeah.
Well, and so the tricky part was how do we make sure that the public still stays involved? Because we
Right.
want to make sure that their voices are also heard. So on our website, we do have a form that you can fill out so that you can make your public comment. It's at www.bcnv.org/council. It explains the process for the meeting, and it has the link to the live stream, but it also has a link to the comments form. So if you have something you want to comment on,
Nice.
you can fill that out. That's our preferred method of doing it.
Travis, you're putting
So
that
I
link.
just put up that link for the to hold regular meetings. So that BCNV /council. And then I also put up the agenda so everybody who's watching can check out what's going to be on the Tuesday meeting.
That's
Right. And then what other people can do if they're not if they don't have internet, or if they are looking to leave a voicemail message, we do have a line 702-293-9210. Those comments will be played into the public record. Try to keep your comments under 5 minutes. Remember that we're limited to 5 minutes.
So your
per
voice
comment.
will actually be on there, right? Like you'll hear
Yes.
the dog barking in the background, like,
Oh, yeah.
turn off the TV. Okay. Yeah.
Let's put the dog away.
Yeah, okay.
And
All
then,
right.
the other thing is, because we do have some folks who like to make comments at the end of the meeting, there will be a general line open for anybody who wants to speak during the comment portion at 702-589-9629.
Very
And
cool.
that way people who want to make a comment, because sometimes you sit through the meeting and you want to say something at the end, and that's where your general comments usually fall, and so we want to make sure that people can still do that. So this is the first time we're doing this. The last meeting that we had was March 10th. Oh my goodness, March 10th. So it's been a little over a month. So. And I have to say this is a work in progress. We're still not sure
So are
how
we.
it's all going to work
All our
out.
comments are vertical on Boulder,
Yeah,
but
no, the entire video is vertical.
the whole video is vertical. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mine looks fine. I mean, it doesn't look vertical to me, but you
I
know,
will look.
yeah. Am I vertical?
We may end up with something like this for our meeting tomorrow night. So, but we do know that there is going to be definitely a delay. So, if there's a little bit of dead air there, like 15, 20 seconds, don't be surprised. It's going to take us a while to get everything figured out.
Yeah. Well, I think that all of us here, Boulder, and all of you out there on BC Social, we should make this like the most comment-filled city council meeting there ever was. Everybody should go in and just at least go in and tell the city and the staff and the council and the mayor, thank you very much for opening the government and working so hard to make this happen. I mean, I think the city's done an amazing job of putting together the resources and pulling together all the volunteers, because it's not just what the city did was pull together a lot of volunteers, which is what makes Boulder City so cool, and coordinating all of this stuff. So, why don't we at least, you call in, leave your comment, tell us, hey, that a boy, good job. Thank you very much for, opening up government. This is important. These are public service, and help us, especially those of us that are in our house and afraid to go out, these are people that are helping us facilitate that and making it safer for everybody, right?
And one of the things that we wanted to do when we did this is we wanted to simplify the process. A lot of communities are using WebEx or GoToMeeting, and that requires you downloading a program or sharing your email address with a third party. And we know that a lot of residents have concerns over that. So that's why we've made a simplified process here so that anyone can do it, and we can make sure that we're getting all of our voices in. So, if somebody doesn't have a computer, they are able to still submit a voicemail message. We all know how to use a phone, so that's something that can be done. If somebody wants to write a lengthy response to one of the agenda items, there's an unlimited amount of space on the form. However, we're only able to read that first 5 minutes of it, so make sure you get your key points in as early as possible if you're going to do that.
Right. Are you still having that live event in the Smith Center, or is that still going to happen for people that can't do any of those alternatives?
Yes. So if there are residents who don't have internet access, there is going to be a live stream at the Smith Building. That's at 700 Wyoming Street. That's only going to be open to 9 individuals, though, and we need to, again, practice social distancing in there. The reason for 9, the government order is 10 people or less. We do have to keep 1 city staff member there to make sure that all of the equipment is running correctly. So right now we are saying only 9 individuals. Based on what I see at the typical council meeting, I think most of the residents who come to the meetings on a regular basis are tech savvy enough that they'll probably watch the live stream from home. And, I think that we may get a couple of people over there. If you do plan on doing it, we ask that you give the clerk's office a call so that we know that that somebody will be coming. We anticipate that the meeting will probably last a little over 3 hours, so we'll need to have somebody staffed over at that facility for the duration of the meeting.
Mm-hmm. Well, this has been, and if this works, what is the plans? The plan is to add other committees and commissions and things like that? And
it's going to be difficult. I know that there are some committees and some of the workshops that had been planned. We have to see how this works first before we make any determination on how to move forward. Because the other committees are really recommendation committees and advisory committees, we don't feel as much of a rush to try out the technology on them. Mm-hmm. This meeting is really important tomorrow night because we do actually have a vote on the state of emergency. We made the declaration back in March. The mayor made the declaration, but it has to be ratified by city council. Mm-hmm. And that's why this meeting is so critical. After this meeting, we'll take a look and see how things go, if it all worked out, and we'll make determinations based on that. We do have the April 30th deadline that the governor has set, so it's going to be interesting to see if he pushes forward with that or if there is some less restrictive information that comes out towards the end of the month. So we're kind of all in this kind of wait and see period right now, and got to figure out what's going to happen next.
Right. Now the emergency declaration signed by the mayor and going to be trying to be ratified by the council. What does that emergency declaration? What's the gist of it? What difference does it make for us?
It's really about federal funding. So when you have a state of emergency declaration, federal dollars can be utilized for response. And there are very specific items that the federal government will help with response. In this particular situation, this is a little unique because the other state of emergencies I've been involved in have been weather related. I've never been involved in one that was virus related.
Right.
So in those situations, it helped pay for overtime. It helped pay for equipment. The ones that I was involved in were, like I said, weather-related tornadoes, flooding, things like that, back up in Michigan. So we would have to get front-end loaders, or we might have to rent equipment so that we could shore up a dam. And so that's a little different than what this is, but we still have the ability to monitor what kind of expenses are going into our response, and then request federal funding later on to help the city pay for that response.
Wow.
That's amazing. Now, what can the citizens of Boulder City do for the city? I mean, what can we do to help? What is our part of this? You know, what can we do from our homes?
From your homes, for example, those volunteers that are calling, we can use more of those volunteers. We've actually been asked to possibly use some for shopping for seniors. A lot of seniors are afraid to go shopping right now, and so we're taking a look at possibly having them create a shopping list, and then having our healthy volunteers, obviously wearing masks and maintaining social distance, but going out and doing the grocery shopping for our seniors. So if you are interested in being a volunteer for the city, Michael Mays is the one that's running the volunteer list. He is reachable at mmays@bcnv.org.
Right.
And right now, I think he's got just short of 50 volunteers right now. So, so for some of them, they're the ones making those calls. For some other ones, they're the ones that will be doing some of the shopping. We also, if you're a retired healthcare specialist, whether it was a nurse, a doctor, PA, whatever you might have been, if you're retired and you're looking to help out, we're also looking for folks that can do that as well. We're not sure that we're going to need to utilize them, but it's better to have their information on hand just in case. So again, that would be mmays@bcnv.org.
Right. Or they could call that 293-9379 number.
That is the other option.
I mean, the other option is to call them, and they'll get you to Michael Mays. Or if you want to volunteer, call that number, that 293-9379. If you want to volunteer.
9329.
Oh, 9329. I'm sorry.
9329. That's okay. Yeah, that's the other
9329.
option. You can give us a call, or you can call anybody that you know in City Hall.
Right.
We all know where Michael is.
Yeah. Well, I want to give a shout out to Michael too, because he's been doing an amazing job and just getting out to people. I know yesterday he helped the veterans home. They have some scheduling, and it's kind of like, they're getting more volunteers to feed the residents, but there's kind of like the horse before the cart. But in other words, in order to get somebody into the vets homes, you have to be tested for COVID-19. But they have to train them also, but they can't go into the building to be trained. So I know Michael facilitated the use of a city-owned building for their training to make that happen. So it's that kind of cooperation with the city that's so important, to make this whole thing work.
Yeah, and it's amazing how many people have reached out and offered, whether it's a facility or it's their expertise on different things. And it's just been heartwarming to see how many people have wanted to come out and help, or even just say thank you. I know that early on, a lot of people were not sure how this was all going to shake out. And, coming together as a collaborative, and all of the folks that are working in the EOC, discussing what our needs are, making sure that the
The
needs are met.
EOC. What is the EOC?
Oh, yes,
Everybody
Emergency
got.
Operations Center.
We have an emergency operations center,
Operations Center.
which I think sounds cooler than EOC because EOC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and actually, it sounds really cool, but it's really just a room with some tables.
Oh, okay.
So it's nothing real.
So it's really just an EOC. Yeah. Okay.
It's just a room. But it's the people that are in the room that make it. So we have, the fire chief is the incident commander through all of this. Michael Mays is the deputy, so he's in the room. I'm public information officer, so I'm in the room. We have somebody from Boulder City Hospital. She's been fantastic. She's the chief nursing officer. She's been wonderful in making sure that we're talking about what kinds of personal protective equipment is necessary, and making sure that our all of our policies and procedures here at City Hall through this are keeping us safe. Our logistics manager, Paul Sikora, who's been doing the collections for the nonprofits, has been in the room. Again, though, we at one point we had 11 people in the room, so we had to start having people call in. Our utilities director, Dennis Porter's involved. Our public works director, Keegan Luttrell, is involved. It's just been, everybody has an area of expertise on this. And so making sure that those experts are brought to the table and that their voices are heard has been what we've done in that EOC, and it's been fantastic.
Okay. Well, in the last couple minutes that we have left here, hey, why don't
Alan, I got a question real quick from so Doug Smith says, what is the status of the number of people in BC with the coronavirus, as well as is there a place that people can go to kind of see those stats?
And this has been a common question. We are not privy to that information due to the requirements of HIPAA, and because the health department wants people to continue to maintain that social distancing. They want to make sure that folks are doing things safely and not having that false sense of security. They're not telling us, they're not giving us exact numbers. They're not giving us any kind of baseline information. The best information that we've gotten so far was information that was released by the Veterans Home, and that was that they had 5 patients and 8 employees that tested positive. So that's the best information, the most recent information that I've gotten. It's about a week old. So, the Southern Nevada Health District is only releasing county numbers. They're not releasing city numbers.
Gotcha.
So the
All right,
best,
awesome, thank you.
Right. The Clark County numbers are currently 2,258 cases and 100 deaths in Clark County.
Right.
Yeah, we hit that sad milestone yesterday.
Right. So, I guess if you're wondering, like, what you should be, if you think you have been exposed to something that may potentially have COVID-19, do what I'm doing, just self-isolate. Just say, okay, well, this is a possibility until that's the only alternative we had until there's more testing available, right?
Yeah, and there is actually a test that they're that I've been reading about that is hopefully going to be distributed within the next week or two that actually tests for antibodies as opposed to just testing for the virus, the live virus.
Right, because some people may have had the disease already, have antiviruses in them, right?
Exactly. So the thought is that, and we're not sure because we don't know enough about this illness yet, but if you have the antibodies, you've already had the illness, and hopefully we don't have to worry about you recatching it anytime soon. But based on any virus, they mutate, and so future mutations may not be. You may not be immune to them after having this. So this is it's a new situation for all of us. Right. So we're just kind of, we have to wait and see what CDC says and what the public health officials say. Right.
Well, like you said, this is kind of new to everybody. Usually you say state of emergency has to do with a tornado or a weather event or something like that, not a worldwide pandemic, right? So in our last little minute before we end the show, hey, could everybody give a 1-minute quick tip of what you're doing to amuse yourself during the pandemic at home? What is your tip? What should you be doing? So Travis, what are you doing out there? What do you do to keep moving and happy? Any tips out there you can give people?
I'm doing pull-ups. Pull-ups.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of pull-ups.
Yeah. Buff, yeah, okay, the rippling. Yeah.
I got
Next week he's going to be
shoulder
wearing a
blades
tank
now.
top.
Right, Lisa, what are you doing? Yeah, he's gonna be. You should show him next week. Next week it's gonna be just abs and pecs and yeah. What tip do you have, Lisa?
You know,
Sure.
I sadly have been working a lot.
Yeah. So,
When there's a state of emergency like this and you're in charge of releasing information, and I'm receiving probably anywhere between 40 and 60 COVID related emails a day. Even on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, COVID is pretty much all I'm doing.
right. So you're not hanging around watching Tiger King on Netflix all day, right? Like
No,
you
I
know,
haven't binge watched anything. I know everybody's like talking about Carol Baskin. I'm like, who?
Well, at least you know who she is.
Yeah.
I
Well,
know
Dave,
who Dr. Fauci is.
what are your?
I do know. That's the
Yeah.
thing I've been watching the
Well-
most is keeping an eye on all of that.
Right.
My suggestion is make some
stuff.
soup.
Make
Get
some
out-
soup.
Yeah, get out some old recipes and make some soup.
Oh, yeah?
Nice. I'll be over later.
Hey,
Okay.
man. Oh, I've been doing gardening, man. I mean, there is nothing unplanted and repotted and redone in my house. It's just, me and the it's here at Goya Farms. We're just like, the chickens are like 3 eggs a day. They're doing good. And we're planting everything. Everything is growing, man. And it's just like, we made a memorial garden and, I've been moving a lot around here. And so garden, good time to garden. Anyway, so that was episode of 113 of Boulder, everybody. Thank you so much, Lisa, for all the things you guys are doing out this city, and we appreciate it. And let me get us out here.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, you guys. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yep.
What-
No. All right, Alan, you want to play us off?
I am. As soon as here, I'm going to put, here we go. Episode.
Andy Nelson.
We got it. Hang on. I got too much technology here. There it is.
I could see your chicken back there.
You see my chicken back there?
Yeah, the black one is pecking. And
Well, here, we'll do it right. See, I got the good music. I got the good speaker on. Sandy, you're keeping me alive here. It's like, or listen to Sandy Nelson, man.
Here, I'll throw up the YouTube. Speaking of, I'm going to put up the YouTube channel for us. Thanks
Yeah.
for BC Social as well.
Okay. Hey, thanks, Lisa. Thanks for all your work. And next week we have somebody from Lend a Hand coming in. Shannon Ekman from Lend a Hand coming in. So we're gonna keep on. And we have museums. We have tips for what to do during a worldwide pandemic, which we're all in. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
We'll catch you later. Bye.